Hey y'all, so happy Friday. I was having conversations today about all kinds of cool stuff, and one thing that stuck out in my head that I don't know why I was ruminating over it, people pleasing. And there's a lot of people that suffer from this. I myself am a recovering people pleaser. And people pleasing actually sounds pretty when you say it like that, people pleasing. It's not. It also falls under headers like anxious attachment or codependence. Those don't sound good. Those don't sound pretty. People pleasing sounds great, but it's really not. It's unhealthy. It's basically an attachment to someone else's reaction in order to avoid a negative response or to gain a positive one. So an attachment to somebody else's response, you guys, you're living your life based on what other people want. So, y'all, I'm just saying there's an epidemic of this. So I'm gonna give you some ideas so you try to figure out if you're a people pleaser. Number one, you pretend to agree with people. Oh my God, y'all, this drives me crazy. Actually, I don't think I had this one. I didn't have this one. But you pretend to agree with everyone. Like, people are talking and they're like, oh, my favorite food is liver. And they're like, oh, mine too. Oh, mine too. And you're like, oh yeah, mine too. That's my favorite food, liver. You don't have to be yourself. You do not have to agree with everyone. And some people just feel uncomfortable. It's that worry about avoiding a negative reaction from someone else. Like, what? You don't like liver? No, you don't have to like liver. You don't have to agree with everyone. So there. You feel responsible for how other people feel. I did have that. I used to have that. My daughter had that. And she's working through it, but because she's a recovering people pleaser as well. You're not responsible for how other people feel. You're responsible for what you say. If you hurt someone's feelings, well, you better apologize. That's not nice. But if you just said, no, I'm not going to the party tonight, and they get upset, that's their problem. That's not your problem. You're not responsible for how they feel. But a lot of people are like, oh, okay, well, I'll go. And that's what I used to do. Don't do it anymore. Life's too short. You apologize often. Ladies, not sorry. Stop apologizing. We talked about this today too. I dropped something at the store. I'm like, I'm sorry. Stop being sorry. Stop being sorry all the time. You can say, excuse me, or you can say, whatever. But stop being sorry all the time. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to fix. See? Look at me, I just did it. Not trying to fix y'all. Not saying you're broken. I'm just explaining what this is. So you feel burdened by things that you have to do. Why? Because you didn't say no. You said yes to everything. I know, because I used to do it. Say yes to everything. Y'all, when you say yes to things that you don't have the time for, or you don't need to be doing, or you're not responsible for doing, you're saying no to yourself. You're saying no to something else. If I say yes to watching TV, I'm saying no to reading or whatever else I need, playing with my kids. Or, if I say yes to volunteering one day when my kids are out of school, I'm saying no to hanging out with my kids. Or I could take my kids with me. So when you say no to something, or say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. Just remember that. Just balance. Number 5, you can't say no. That's a problem. You guys, no is a sentence. No. And it's recognizable in pretty much any language on earth. No. Or just shake your head. No. That's a complete sentence. You can say no and just stop right there. Women are the worst for okay, example. I have been sick as a dog and had to call in sick. And, in healthcare, we don't call in sick. A couple times in my career, I have had to call in sick and felt terrible. I was literally, barely able to speak or sitting over the toilet vomiting and just saying, look, I'm so sorry. I'm not going to be able to come in today. I'm sorry there's only 3 hours notice, but I woke up at, 3 a.m. throwing up, and this is what's happening, and I hope you can find someone to replace. You guys, you know what men do? It makes Brad crazy. Men pick up the phone and say, hey, not coming in today, I'm sick. Just want to let you know. That's it. And like, when I used to ask for a day off, I'll be like, oh, my kid has this play and I know y'all are gonna be short and it's short notice and I feel terrible doing this, but I don't want to miss my kids. Men just walk in and say, hey, I can't be here Friday. My kid's got something. I don't even have to say my kid's got something. I can't be here Friday. That's it. We got to learn to live life a little more like men, ladies, in that respect. Only in that respect, because they've got it down there. There are way more female people pleasers. Way, way more. I don't have a stat on that. That's an observation. You feel uncomfortable if someone is angry with you. God, this used to drive me nuts. I still don't like it if someone's angry with me, but now I'm not gonna, that's their emotion. If I did something intentionally to make them angry or even unintentionally and I'm aware of it, I will absolutely apologize for it. But if they're angry at me because I chose to spend the evening with my kids and not go out that night or whatever, that's their problem. That's their energy to waste, not mine. I'm sleeping at night. Now, I didn't used to. You act like people around you. Same thing. Like, I have girlfriends, years ago, that were like, I'm a Razorback fan. And then they would date someone and they're like, oh no, I'm a Aggies fan. Or, they would hate country music, but they would date some cowboy and they're like, I love Garth Brooks or Dunn and whoever. No, that's not you. But they wanted to act like the people they're with. Be yourself, y'all. Be yourself. You are somebody. And you have special gifts. And somebody doesn't love you for who you are. They don't love you. You need praise to feel good. Nope. You go to great lengths to avoid conflict. Y'all don't be afraid of some conflict. Conflict's kind of good for you. Find your grit. So great lengths because they'll say yes to anything just to avoid conflict. Agree with anything to avoid conflict. That's unhealthy. You know what that does? That causes bitterness. That causes you deep down in your core to be really angry and bitter because you're just going along with anyone to avoid conflict when internally the conflict is in you. Not worth it. Fear of being rejected or abandoned. Again, if someone's going to reject you or abandon you for you being you, those aren't your people. Hungry for approval, same thing. Neglectful of your own needs, same thing. Putting others first all the time, which, as a mom is one thing, but you don't have to put everybody first, ladies. Overworked and overdeveloped sense of responsibility because, you feel like you have to do it all. Okay, this is commonly seen. This is why this is so rampant. This is commonly seen in people with low self-esteem. Makes my heart hurt. People who are overachievers because they think they have to do it all and please everybody. Type A personalities, perfectionists, people with a strong need for control because they feel like they have to control everything. Okay, so this is all pretty ugly, right? Sad. I got everybody depressed on Friday night now. Okay, so I looked up to try to figure out what are some things that will help you. I just got mad and I was like over it. But I did a lot of personal development. I'm not just going to say it. I went cold turkey. It was a process. But I looked up some things that people recommend that you do to become a recovering people pleaser and stop that crap. So, number one, internal validation. Figure out who you are. Realize you have I'm ad-libbing this part. Realize you have incredible gifts. You were put here for a reason. I forget the statistic based on how many sperms are available at any given time and any given place in the world. But it's something like so many trillions to gazillions to one that you're even here. Like the odds of you even being here are unbelievable. You're meant to be here. And there's only one of you. No one will no one ever will be like you. You're the only one. So be you. You can't go wrong if you're being yourself. Start with small no's. This is the thing. Just say no and put your hand over your mouth if you have to. Say no and stop right there. And it's very uncomfortable at first. And just wait and see what happens. The world doesn't end. In fact, people are like, oh, okay. It's not nearly as bad as you think it is. And stop thinking it's bad. 3, give yourself grace and give yourself time. And like I said before, stop explaining yourself. You don't have to explain yourself. I know you feel like you need to, but you really don't. You can say you can say no kindly. No. You can even say thank you. No, thank you. No, I can't. No, not this time. No, that's it. It's pretty easy. It didn't used to be easy for me though. Know your goals. Why is it you're trying to stop people pleasing? Well, because it's unhealthy. And you're not doing yourself, like I said, you're making yourself internally sick. Like you're saying no to yourself. You're conflicted inside because you feel guilty and angry and bitter that you're having to do all these other things and not be yourself to be someone else to make somebody else feel better. Number 5, big, huge, get rid of toxic people. Toxic speaks for itself. If you're in a toxic job, look for another job. If you're in a toxic relationship, find a way, get out. Or if you've got a toxic best friend or toxic group of friends you're hanging out with, those aren't your people. I read something the other day and I loved it. I got to find out who the quote is by, that said, I got to find who wrote this, y'all. I'm not taking credit for this quote. I refuse to sit at a table any longer where I might be the topic of conversation when I leave. Ouch, remember that one. I refuse to sit at a table any longer where I might be the topic of conversation when I leave. Y'all, if they're talking about other people, you know they're talking about you. Those aren't your people. And 6, stop apologizing. Don't apologize because you have to prioritize. Don't. You got to set your priorities. What comes first? You know what your priorities are. I know what mine are. What comes first? If volunteering at your kid's school comes down here, then don't put it up here. Put it down here. If making cookies for the bake sale is way down on your priority list, pick some up and have your husband drop them off or whatever. Send them to school in the morning with your kids, or say, no, I can't. I have too much on my plate. And let's see, basically, if you don't stand up for yourself, no one's going to stand up for you. So people, it's another thing. People will treat you as well as you treat yourself. As good as you treat yourself. I guess it's as good. Anyway, people are going to treat you with the amount of respect that you give yourself. Give yourself some more respect. You don't have to earn respect just to be here. You get respect just for breathing. Now, in your career or other places, do you have to earn respect for, other things? Sure. But to prioritize your life, you don't have any, no. So basically, stand up for yourself. Realize that you are important. You are meant to be here. And check yourself. See if you're a people pleaser. And if you are, stop it. And maybe see if there's people pleasers in your family or close friends near you. Help those people out. Don't support them, and don't make sure that you're not one of the people they're trying to please, because that would feel just as horrible. All right, that's it. Well, that was like a lecture. I was on fire tonight. I was like fired up about this. Anyway, you guys have a great night.